Hi, I'm going to show you how to work on the DR trimmer walk behind machine. Okay. Now your trimmer on 3 wheel. I can move it by my one finger. I don't have to push down the handle anymore. Look at spin head only above the ground, so it's protecting it. Awesome will protect your plastic, not damage. It will make your job way easier. Thank you for watching. You like it?
Is something special. Makes it a lot easier to do, especially with people like me who are handicapped, visually impaired. It's very, very easy to use, and it does a wonderful job. So I really, really recommend it. Talk to my friend Juan and get your awesome wheel.
Thank you. Hi, I'm going to show you how to repair and maintain the EcoBear Cat 8WX model. It's a brand new machine. Okay, now there you go. It's complete. You can see I can move it one hand. I can do it 360 easily, backward and forward. Look how it looks like in the bottom. The spin head only above the ground perfectly. Thank you for watching. Hi, I'm gonna show you how to change the belt and repair part for the Southland walk behind trimmer with a 22-inch. Oh, it's done. On third wheel. See how much clearance you have, and the spin head not touching the ground, so we will not damage it. I can move it one hand. Move so easy, move. Thank you for watching. I'm going to show you how to replace the V-belt on the Arian wheel light trimmer machine. You can slide it down. That's underneath. You put the machine down. You see, way above. It gives you even cut, easy. You can go back and forth easily. 300 degrees spinning. Don't need no force. Hi, I'm going to show you how to replace the belt, fix replacement part. This is the Remington. Easy. No effort at all. Only on 3 wheel. See how it looks. The trim head never touch the ground, and you can make this go a little bit higher by put another nut down here and raise it up like 1/4 inch if you want to. Make it higher so it will never touch the ground. There you go. Thank you. Hi, I'm gonna show you how to repair the belt, dirty, handy tool, walk behind machine. From the trim ball to the ground, it's clear up. You can see, so it never touch the ground. It will never destroy your trim ball. There you go. And move so easy. Backward, forward. Shut it down, Andrew. So how you like it?
I love it. It helps me do my job easier. No problem. It moves and does exactly where I want it to go. The wheel. Very helpful.
Hi. Okay, we're gonna learn the bebop scale cage system. How each pattern connect to each other. Okay, let's play the first pattern. I'm gonna make it display note. Now let's display the second pattern. And let it play the third pattern. Let it play the fourth pattern. And let it play the fifth pattern. Okay. The first pattern or the open position, the top fretboard, it neighbor or adjacent pattern in number 2. So 1 and 2, they are neighbor. Okay, they share some common note. You see on the 3rd fret of pattern number 1, this note are identical with pattern number 2 on the 3rd fret. Also on the 4th fret of pattern number 1, it carry over on number 2 to form number 2. So they share common note. That's how they can connect. And the most important note there is the roots, the D on 2nd string 3rd fret, so all the notes from the 3rd fret and the 4th fret of pattern number 1 are carry over to build pattern number 2. It doesn't matter what pattern, you need to follow the bebop scale formula. So you need to remember where the root is and what string it on, what fret it on. From one pattern you can go to the next pattern, its neighbor right next to it, and play in a higher octave, higher pitch. So when you carry the note on the 3rd and 4th fret of pattern number 1 over to pattern number 2, you start with the G on 6th string 3rd fret. Use the index finger and you move up the scale. You're gonna see another root on the 5th string 5th fret. Walking up the scale, the main scale in red, you will come to another root on 2nd string 3rd fret. Walk up the scale until you go to the B on 1st string 7th fret. So you see this pattern number 1 and pattern number 2, it share the G, the A, the G, the C, the D, the G on 3rd fret, and it share the C sharp and F sharp on the 4th fret. That's how they connect. If you jump from pattern number 1 and you jump straight to pattern number 3, it sounds pretty rough, it's not smooth. But when you moving from pattern number 1 to pattern number 2, it sounds really smooth. It's neighbor, you know. Alright now, so pattern number 1 has a neighbor, is pattern number 2. Okay, pattern number 2 is have a neighbor lower than it is pattern number 1, and it also have another neighbor, it's number 3, which are higher octave. We use the same technique. Pattern number 2 share some common note with pattern number 3, and these notes are on the 5th fret, the 6th fret, and the 7th of pattern number 2. this note carry over to form pattern number 3. Can you see the identical note for both pattern 2 and 3 on fret 5, 6 and 7? Okay, so pattern number 3 start with the A, use the index finger on 6th string 5th fret, walk up the scale. You will see the root on 5th fret, 5th string. This root is the same location at pattern number 2. Look at it. Now you walk up the scale, you will reach to another root or tonic note on 3rd string 7th fret. Walk up the scale until you play the note on 9th fret, the C sharp. You see this pattern number 3 use the index finger to play the root on 5th string 5th fret, and it use the ring finger to play the root on 3rd string 7th fret. Trying to remember the root, what finger we use. You can start walk up the scale and figure out the scale. Okay. Now we go down to pattern number 4. Pattern number 4, it have a neighbor lower than it is pattern number 3, and it also have a neighbor higher than it. It is number 5, pattern number 5. Pattern number 4 share some common note with pattern number 3. Look at fret 7, 8 and 9 of pattern number 3. These notes are carried over to build pattern number 4. They share, that's why they call it, they share with its neighbor. Okay, so pattern number 4 start with the index finger. You walk up the scale, you will play the root on 6th string 10th fret. This time you use the pinky. Let me turn fingering so you can see. You use the pinky for the root. The root on 3rd string 7th fret. Let me turn on finger, and it uses the index finger to play the root. Go back to note. From there, when you walk up the scale, you will come to another root on 1st string 10th fret, and it using the pinky to play the root. Pattern number 4, shares some common note with pattern number 5. Look at the 10th fret, the 9th fret, the 10 and the 11 of pattern number 4. This note are carried over to build pattern number 5. You see the identical. Okay, so pattern number 5 start with the C sharp on 6th string 9th fret. You walk up the scale, you see the root, the D on 6th string 10th fret, and it uses the middle finger number 2 to play the root. You walk up the scale, you will see another root on 4th string 12th fret. and it uses the pinky to play that root. You walk up the scale, you will reach to another root on first string 10th fret, and it uses the index finger, the D, the middle finger, to play the root. So this is how we study how the cage system connect the 5 pattern. You master each pattern in sequence as you train yourself. When you get really good, you can play them in random. You can play a few notes on pattern number 1 and slide over to pattern number 2 to finish them. You can spread your note all over 5 pattern, and you jump from neighbor to neighbor. Don't jump from 1 to 4 or from 1 to 5th. Jump from 1 to 2, or 2 back to 1, or 2 to 3, 3 to 4, or 4 to 3, or 4 to 5, and it sounds real smooth. Experiment, play with it, randomly play, put your feeling, put bend, hammer on, hammer off, bend the note, vibrating the note, hammer on, hammer off. Put your feeling in there, your mood in there, and play. Experiment. You will come up with a solo, a lick. I hope this lesson helped you. Thanks for watching. See you next lesson.